Hey, you all. Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the north, more specifically here at the Flying J in Hebron, Indiana. I just left my mom's house just a little bit ago, less than an hour ago. It's been the worst Christmas ever for me. This Christmas was rough. Starting out, my stepdad Keith, he died in August, and this was first time that all of us were going to be together, and I think in some ways we did honor what he meant to us. I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't have my family the last 3-4 days. So going into this very rough Christmas, my best friend Adam the Woo passed away, and I have spent the last, I think it's 4 days, it's a blur right now. I have just been not knowing what to do. I left the house to record the video that I put out the other day. Other than that, I don't think I left my mom's house. Again, I don't know what I would have done with my family without my family there to support me, because I was just, I was probably not very pleasant to be around. I was just on another planet, just scrolling on my phone, just reading comments, watching old videos. It's been so freaking hard, and it is still really freaking hard. I didn't know what I was going to do. It seemed impossible to think, just going back out there into the world and filming and showing goofy things and showing roadside attractions and going to theme parks. It just seemed strange. It still seems strange. Originally I was going to hang out here for a few more days, going to spend some time in Chicago, do some Chicago things, and try to be home for New Year's. Now I just really don't know. I feel like I need to be back out there. I mean, in the past, dealing with hard times, I've always just kept working harder, through my divorce, through the loss of my stepdad. I did this, what I'm doing right now. I go, I film, I travel. But this is so hard. Everything I do, everything I think about reminds me of Adam. We were watching Stranger Things, and I just remember thinking back. It reminded me of when Adam went and filmed the Stranger Things town. We watched Planet of the Apes because Jen had never seen it, and I remember Adam went out to Ape City, found the locations, and I remember he had a little piece on his dresser. He had a little piece of Ape City that he found, that they crumbled up the set afterwards, and he kept a little piece of Ape City at his house. But as best I can figure out, I need to be in Florida right now. I want to go down there. I want to grieve. I want to grieve my friend. I want to see other people, be around other people that knew him like I knew him. And a lot of those people are down in Florida. I've been reaching out to people, just trying to, I'm not good at this. I've not dealt with this before. I've not lost someone suddenly like this before. And I've been reaching out to friends, mutual friends. I just want to be around people that knew him like I knew him. There's going to be, I think it's out now that there's going to be some sort of public celebration of life, and I want to be there. I don't know when it's going to be there, but I don't know when it's going to happen. but I'm gonna be there some way. Some way I'll be there. I'll find a way to be there. I'm going down to Florida now. I don't know. It seems dumb in one way because, you know, he's not there. But another way, it's just all these thoughts, all the good memories I have, and a lot of them were down in Florida. It's where he lived. You know, a lot of times that's where I would see him when I went on the road. So right now the plan is to go down to Florida. It's about 5:30. It's really dark outside, but it's Indiana in the winter, so it's only 5:30 right now. The goal for tonight is to just get as close to Florida as possible, and then we'll finish driving in tomorrow. I'm gonna vlog. Because that's what I do. I'm a daily vlogger. I think Adam would want me to just carry on, just keep doing what I'm doing. I think that's what Adam would do in a situation like this. I think he'd keep making videos, and I fully recognize, you know, I share a lot on here. I share a lot of personal stuff. It's how I get myself in trouble on this channel. It's by oversharing, saying things out loud that I should have kept to myself. But I don't know any other way to do this, and I'll probably be talking about Adam a lot in the near future and the rest of my life. I want to be really clear. The video I put out the other day was not a monetized video, despite the ignorant comments that a very small portion of people made. I did not monetize that video, but going forward, you know, my videos will be monetized. There's no way to separate my life from what I am feeling right now, from what the way this is affecting me. So this is me living, and this is my journal, my life journal, and this is me going through a very uncertain and difficult time in my life. But like I said, I think Adam would want me to carry on, to keep vlogging, to not curl up. I usually take the first week of January off every year. I don't know, part of me I don't want to sit at home right now. I don't want to sit and think, because that's all I've been doing the last 3 or 4 days, is sitting and thinking and grieving. And I'm not going to stop grieving, but I'm going to keep going at the same time. So that's what's going to be happening here on this channel right now. We're going to Florida. I can hopefully share some memories of Adam with you guys. Go to some places that remind me of him. That's what's in store here. If that's not everyone's cup of tea, if that's not what people want to see, then I'm sorry. You maybe don't watch. We'll get back there. We'll back to the part, where there's more lighthearted content on this channel and things like that. But I'm not gonna pretend that I'm not hurting. I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't just lose one of the most important people in my entire life. So this is me, splayed wide open for the world to see. And if you guys want to come along, then I would love to have you with me. And even though we're trying to head out of Indiana, here is the Indiana Welcome Center. You notice this sign here that says Indiana, actually the blade of a windmill. We have windmills in this part of northern Indiana. So to celebrate the wind, this windmill out in front. They only built this rest area a few years ago. Very impressive as far as rest areas go. See the glowing blue. It actually looks beautiful at night. I don't think I've been here. I think I've actually been here at night to see it. Some miniature windmills over here. You see the building. I believe it's meant to look like the dunes and the Lake Michigan, the dunes, and then the windmills that we have out here in this part of Indiana. Yeah, I am a fan of welcome centers and rest areas, and I love a good high concept welcome center. Here we see the god Vulcan over here on the wall. Of course, is a reference to the steel industry here in Indiana. Making steel is a big part of northern Indiana. My grandfather worked his whole life in the steel mill. My mom's second husband was a steel worker as well. And presumably there was buffalo all over here before we killed them all. You could see the butterflies in the rafters. And that's the state flag there. So very educational. Talks about the life cycle of the monarch butterfly. And the old style of windmill. You see the modern giant windmills here, but we also have the old classic windmill. And if you have windmills, you're going to have Don Quixote hunting down the windmills. Very interesting addition. It all ties together though, the whole windmill theme. Stopped off here on the bridge here in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's a place I like to stop when I'm coming through Indianapolis. We have the Idol Park back here amongst the brambles. Dark right now, but it's lit up by the city. The sickly glow of the city, of the traffic bouncing off the overcast skies, lights our way through the Idol Park. And here it is. Idle Park, the park designed to watch traffic. You can sit here in the stadium seating. And look out onto the great highways. Look at the sky, the pinkness of the sky. It's the glow from the city of Indianapolis, lighting up the air, lighting up the sky. The traffic All those headlights lighting up the sky. If it was a blue sky, it would be darker because the overcast, this Midwest overcast, reflects the light. Yeah, looking out, I guess it's highway or Interstate 65 and Interstate 70 out here. It makes me think, seeing all these people pass, all these people driving, all these people that have a place. They have a place they want to go. They have a place they need to be. Quite often I'm out there in my car. My friend Adam, always out there on the highway, taught me how to travel, taught me how to pace myself. Almost like something sacred to me. The U.S. highway system allowed me to put those points together to make this dream come true, where you can just get in your car and you can just see the things you want to see. And Adam, when he began his journey, his great adventure, it was simple. He just got up and did it. He just put an air mattress in his van and did it. Went out there, scraped and scrounged for gas money, for food money, and he built something that meant something to people, Maybe they never met him in real life, but they were affected. People watch him use these highways to connect the different cities, connect the different spots, the little things he looked for. It was amusement parks, filming locations. He loved to see where the movies are made. He grew up. That was one thing that was always a little different between me and Adam. Adam grew up loving the movies, loving all the movies he grew up watching. I didn't grow up watching the same kind of movies, but he loved to go. Those movies that stuck with him as a child. He absorbed them, and he wanted to go and see where they were made. And with Adam, it wasn't always like, let's go find this big famous building. Let's go find this iconic thing that was in. Sometimes with Adam, and I'm not joking, I've been in the hotel room with him when he was doing the research, where he's like, this pole here, like for instance, he's like, this pole was shown in Forrest Gump, and he could show me his work, and he could prove to me 100% that this was in the movie. When he did his big grand project, was filming all the filming locations for Forrest Gump in one big road trip, and he could show me this stop sign was in the movie, because this is in the movie, this is in the movie, this has been changed. And I think that's one thing that maybe not a lot of people, I've told him, you should include your process because it's so interesting. And maybe that's something like I think people take for granted with his videos, is how much work he put into that, how much hard work went into finding a filming location, which into matching up things. He would spend hours on Google Earth, going down the streets, just looking. He would find, things other people had said, cross-reference them. Someone told me this, but this disproves that. This means that they had to be off. And watching him put together that Forrest Gump video like it was a forensic murder investigation was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. He was a special person for a lot of reasons. But I'll tell you what, he should have been out there. He should have been out there solving murders, because the way that the way and the intensity that he did those videos, it went way beyond. That's what people don't understand. People don't understand how hard he worked and how passionate he was. And sometimes it was okay taking a day off. He still wanted to film every day. Someday he's just gonna be like, I'm going to Disney World, and I'm gonna relax, and I'm gonna hang out with friends, and we'll just see what happens, and I'll film what happens, you know. But some of those things he was truly passionate about, truly had a vision, and I don't think anyone was better at that. Was better at finding those spots, those things. And I think a lot of people weren't willing to put in the work that he put in, and a lot of people, you know, myself included, just didn't have that sense, that mind for it like he did. That would be nice. It'd be nice if the United States of America, if it had more efficient public transportation, if we had more long distance trains to get us from place to place. It would help. It would help if this country wasn't so damn big. But we are so damn big, and there's so many different parts of this country. We can't help. We have to use these cars. We have to get from place to place. None of these people are stopping in Indianapolis. They're all going through. They all got some other place to go to. People on their adventures, on their missions, and maybe just trying to get back home. But they all got a place to go. And they could be going anywhere. It all connects. The highways, they connect. They can get you anywhere. There's nowhere in America that you can't get somewhere from somewhere else. It's beautiful. Beautiful in a way. Adam loved America, loved traveling America. He was talking next year, 250 years of America. He was excited. He was excited about the birthday of America. And he was excited to dwell in it, and he won't be able to get to do that now. But it means something to me too. This country's got a lot of freaking problems, a lot of scary stuff, but at its core, it's a magical place. It's like Oz itself. There's danger. There's very, very scary things. It's all a big, beautiful road that connects everything together. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the interstate. It'll take you where you want to go. Might take you someplace you don't want to go. Might take you someplace that you never thought you'd end up. Looks like they got maybe a photo shoot or a video shoot going on out here in the idol. He came in with big lights, and a big speaker. Oh, there's the music. We gotta flee. We gotta flee when the copyright music fires up. That's when we run away. The idol, the point of view. This is a place to be idle. To gather with friends or to be alone, to stare at the sky, to study the ground, consider your thoughts, or to clear your head. This is a place for humans to do what humans do. Within reason, of course. as the last couple days has been, I have just been on social media, not posting all that much, but just reading and watching, and I am, it's really apparent how much of an impact that Adam made on people. So many people left, so many kind comments on my other video, and it became clear to me, it wasn't just me that's grieving, obviously, but it wasn't just me that's grieving. It's not just, Adam's close friends that's grieving. It's all the people that were touched by him in, just through watching his channel. Just, if he was part of your day, I know some people, drank a coffee while they watched him watch with their morning coffee, or watched him, every day. And that's, one thing, you put out content every day, and I think he just became, part of people's daily routine, just part of people's, part of their life, and just the light and goodness that he had in him, it showed through his videos, his warmth, his kindness, people could feel that. And Adam went on so many amazing journeys and so many different adventures, but I don't know if that's, people didn't always tune in to see, where is he today, or what crazy thing is he up to? I think people tuned in because they loved him, and they loved, his kindness, his warmth, his perspective on things, and it just, my mind is blown. It shouldn't be, but to see it mentioned in different news stations that covered his death, TMZ, Entertainment Tonight. There's a billboard popped up in the Orlando area, saying, with his image on it, and it's just, he touched so many people's lives. And it's not just people, in Florida, in California, in the U.S. It's people all over the world. He told me, he went to South Korea and he ran into someone that recognized him. He told me that really surprised him. But he was just this source of kindness, and for me, he was, like I said, he was my hero. Like, he was, he talked about his social anxiety, and it's true. He suffered social anxiety. He told me, he enjoyed when people came up to him, but he said he didn't know. He never knew what to say. He never knew what to say. But at the same time, you almost wouldn't believe it, because his warmth and who he was shined through, and he gave the time, and he made people feel important, and and how he treated people, it was important to him. He didn't want to let people down. He would get worried about, like, if his content was up to snuff, or really what he wanted to put out there. That's why he was always reinventing himself. It was always, it's working. Traveling in a van was working, but he wanted to do more. He wanted to show more things.
he had the idea of the RV, and that was a new idea, and that was it was always on to something new. He wanted to, he's like, I just want to show the back roads, little things, little towns, and he did that, and just no matter what he did or what he switched to or how he switched things up, people watched it, and they did watch for him. They watched for his ideas, the things he came up with, the way he had with people. I remember, his personal hero, and he talked about this in his videos, was Mr. Rogers. And he formed the way he talked to people, the way he talked publicly. He thought about that. He talked with a kindness, with a gentleness. He said that everyone, from little kids to, I think he said, drunkard bikers loved Mr. Rogers. And he shared that energy. He shared that very positive energy where, watching him made you feel better about yourself, about, the kindness that Mr. Rogers, people still, little kid, I remember Mr. Rogers from when I was a kid, and it wasn't, Mr. Rogers, the most unflashy man. He put his coat on, he tied his shoes. These aren't things that people would think children will be interested in, but that kindness, it stuck with people. I just remember that comfort. As a kid, you watch that as a comfort. And I think Adam gave people that same sort of comfort, that same sort of feeling when they watched him. He put them at ease. He made them, for people that weren't able to see the world like him. He brought them along. He showed them these things that he saw. He wanted to share it. And what did he always say? He said, let's document this for posterity. And it's a gift to us now. We still have it. We can still go back and watch. We can go back and watch him sleeping in his van when he first got this. When he first started this adventure, we can watch him, flying in a, to the point where he's flying into the air in a bed on an airplane because, he worked hard and got to that point. We can go back and watch the silly things he did. The riding his bicycle down a slide just because the idea struck him. And I said in my other video, Adam was my best friend. And a lot of other people on social media says Adam was their best friend as well. And that's just because he had so much of himself to give and so much of his warmth and kindness to give that, he made so many people happy, and he made so many people feel appreciated. And Adam, the amount of courage he gave me. I talked about, he had his own social anxieties, but he was so funny. He was the center of every of attention. People just wanted to be around him. He wasn't the center of attention because he was loud or he made a spectacle of himself. There's people in this world that want to be the main character, that want all the attention, and they'll do anything they can to get that attention and to be the main character. Adam didn't need to, because he was the person. You wanted to be around him. We'd be hanging out with 10 other people, and maybe I didn't get to talk to him a lot personally, but if I just got to walk behind with him for 15 minutes and just be able to talk to him, he gave me the courage. He gave me so much courage. I watched him I watched him, you know, doing silly things in public, talking loud, and not being afraid to be ridiculous, to record himself being ridiculous, crawling on his hands and knees, or anything like that. And there's a point in my life I was so shy, I couldn't even speak in public. And you know, watching him gave me courage. And you know, some of it was together. Like, me and him did silly things together. I mean, in a children's museum, you know, playing with the props and just laughing to ourselves like idiots about, you know, how silly it was. And it taught me that it was okay. It was okay to just have fun. It was okay to let your guard down. You know, Adam had that confidence. Again, he's very complicated. Like I said, he had social anxiety to some. I think sometimes, you know, I think right now, I think he would be so uncomfortable if he was here right now, because I don't think he would know how to handle the amount of tension that he's getting. But he was just so natural. I think, you know, German and Venice, the thing he kept repeating is he was so cool. Like, he thought Adam was just such a cool guy. And that's, you know, I think that's a great thing. He just had that naturalness about him. He did what he wanted. He didn't care. He didn't care that people didn't like him, or people thought that he needed to grow up. Because, you know, Adam didn't need to grow up. He was grown up. He took care of himself. He took care of his loved ones. He was generous. He never asked anyone for anything, and he did what he wanted. And, you know, he was a pleasure to be around. And I'm sure anyone that's met him, even if you met him for 5 minutes and shook his hand in a theme park, I think you will remember that moment. I remember meeting him. I was so nervous, but, you know, it was really quick. It was really quick that, you know, he put me at ease. I met him at the Bear Pits in Picture Fortune. I was so nervous. If you watch that video, you can see I'm frightened. Like, I can hardly talk. I'm just in awe. I'm just trying to go along with it. I'm so nervous. But, you know, by the next time I hung out with him, it was like an old friend. It was like we'd known each other forever. He just had that weird, it's funny, you know, he had the anxiety about meeting people and that anxiety about meeting strangers, but he had a way of just taking that anxiety away from other people. You know, to be around Adam, it made me less anxious. Something about him. I'm anxious around everybody, but something about him, he could always put me at ease.
Stopped off here at Smiths Grove, Kentucky at Buc-ee's. I think this has got to be one of the newer Buc-ee's. I don't think I've stopped at this one before, but I do remember the first time I ever went to Buc-ee's. It was with Adam in Texas, back when Buc-ee's were only in Texas. You can see this here is the modern cartoon style Buc-ee's statue. Yeah, this was back in the days when Adam had his RV, Large March, and he was in Texas, and he called me out. He's like, come out to Texas. Let's come on out. I remember him telling me to fly out, and he picked me up in his RV. And I remember first or second day we were there, he's like, hey, you ever been to Buc-ee's? I'm like, no, I hadn't. The only time I'd heard of Buc-ee's was in his videos. And I was blown away. I remember him showing. He's like, "You're gonna like this," and that was back when Buc-ee's was only in Texas. It seems crazy. Like Buc-ee's used to be like a treat. If you got to go to Texas, you could stop at Buc-ee's. But now the Buc-ee's are everywhere. They're still a treat, but it's not as rare of a treat as it used to be. And yeah, I remember taking it. I'm like blown away. I'm like, this is not a gas station. This is a Walmart with 1,000 gas pumps out in front. And here inside Buc-ee's, Christmas is over. We're ready for Valentine's Day already. We're looking towards February, and look at this. Got the plushy Buc-ee this year is wearing heart-shaped sunglasses with a lollipop. They had a Cupid Buc-ee either last year or the year before. But yeah, they do come out with the different Buc-ee's for each season. If you're not quite done with Christmas, it looks like they have a singular Santa Buc-ee left. But we haven't had New Year's yet. Happy 2026, Happy New Year's from Buc-ee. 2026. What does 2026 hold? What could it possibly hold? I'm just thinking about Adam. He went to the grand opening when they first opened Buc-ee's in Florida. You know, one of the first places outside of Texas in Daytona, Florida. And Adam was there, and Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, you know, could be considered somewhat of a political, you know, a controversial political figure. In our modern times, all political figures are controversial to some degree, and you know, Ron DeSantis is fighting this crowd of people, supporters, detractors, reporters, asking him political questions, and then Adam buddies up right next to him. That's something Adam could do. He could just find himself in these amazing situations. Gets right next to Ron DeSantis, gets his camera out, and he asks Ron DeSantis, who would be running for president shortly after this, and he said, "Did you try?" The one question he had for Ron DeSantis at the time, one of the most red hot political figures in the country at the time, "Did you try the beaver nuggets?" he said. You know, as I said, me and Adam went on this trip to Texas. It was our first time I'd ever been to Texas. And Adam told me to come out there. He showed me some things he wanted to do together. You know, one of those things he wanted to do is he wanted to eat barbecue every day for, I think it was 7 days straight, and figure out which place had the best barbecue. And we went to a lot of obscure places, some well-known places. It was a good mixture of the two. But the first night we stayed in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, at the gas station where the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre was filmed. And for our first barbecue dinner, we ate barbecue there, and it was prepared by a man. I forget the man's name. He had long gray hair and a beard, a mustache, and he cooked me and Adam. We were the only two people there. He brought us out the barbecue. The barbecue was prepared in the same room that in the movie they cook human flesh and serve it to unwitting patrons. Me and Adam both so psyched to be there, and psyched for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and psyched for our barbecue adventure. We're gonna eat barbecue every day for 7 days, and that barbecue we ate that brisket that night, and it was the best barbecue we had. Again, we went to all these different places. We never ate any Buc-ee's barbecue, believe it or not, but we ate barbecue at all these different places, and that was we talk about every time we ate which was the best, and the gold standard was that Texas Chainsaw Massacre gas station barbecue. It was the best barbecue that I had ever had to that point, and Adam too said it was the best he'd ever had. And every day we talk about it and say, no, this is good, but it just doesn't beat that Texas Chainsaw Massacre barbecue. And when a week later, remember checking back on that Facebook page from the gas station, from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre gas station, and the gentleman that had given us that barbecue, the gentleman that we had declared made the best barbecue in Texas, he had suddenly passed away. And I remember, talking to Adam about that, messaging Adam about that, and it really did give us just what we were talking about. I mean, oh my gosh, we were talking about like how unpredictable things are, how fragile life is, how you just don't know. I mean, we didn't know this man more than our one encounter, but just seeing him, talking about him, oh, this guy makes the best barbecue, and then just suddenly he was gone, and here I am, 7 years later, I think, and just Adam is just gone. One day he's there. I went to bed watching his video with the Grinch, and then got that terrible news the next day that he was gone. So yeah, I know. It's still don't believe it. Still don't believe it. Welcome to Bowling Green, Kentucky. This is as far as I got tonight. Not as far as I'd like to have gotten. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. I thought about driving all the way through. It would get me there like noon tomorrow, but sorry, I was checking on my phone how far away. We got another 11 hours to go. So 11 hours of driving tomorrow. I would like to say I'm going to get up early and hit the road. I'm just never good at that. Remember Adam? Adam was always up. 7 o'clock a.m. was I had to adjust my schedule if we were like traveling at the same time, or I was hanging out, because I'm bad about sleeping late, and Adam liked to get up and get to going, get to drinking coffee, and get to the world. Sometimes I'm a little slower to get going. I stay out a little later, but I get going a little later too. So yeah, just gonna get some rest here in Bowling Green, and then we will get to Florida tomorrow. I don't know. Probably getting in late tomorrow. 11 hours to go. I wanted to get further. I was staying with family things going on. I love my family. Like I said, it's the worst Christmas ever, bar none. But there's still moments of smiles, moments of closeness. My family, very supportive, very comforting, and very understanding. I didn't want to go out and do. Because I'll tell you what, this has just been a dark cloud over me, and I'm sure over just a lot of people. So many people hurting right now, and like I said, I'm following my gut, what feels best, and it feels best to head down to Florida, and that's where I'm going. And I don't know how long I'm going to be down there. I don't know how long I'm going to stay. I don't know if I'm going to come home and go back. We're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants. Go with the flow. We can't control what's going on right now. I'll just kind of flow with it. So thank you guys for being with me this evening.
And thank you. And thank you. Until next time. Until tomorrow morning. This one's in the bag.